Hi there, and thanks for joining me today. Before I start part 21, the second half of Tango in the Night, I was going through some stuff and found a small pile of photographs, and they're not on pages yet, and it was perplexing as to why this small pile was together. Um, this is my second time doing the video because I was trying to show some pieces and it didn't show up very well. But I first suggested that maybe it was because they didn't have the photographer's name on the back, but some of them do. So I don't know. It's just a pile. They're not yet in pages, but because they're not behind the plastic, I thought it would be a great opportunity to again kind of intersperse my 45 videos with some photo videos and to show you some pictures. The first one I have is a great one of Christine McVie and Billy Burnett, which I do believe is during the Mirage era. They had known Billy obviously for quite a while, but little did they know that a few years later he'd be joining the band. I would love to know who this lady is in the background here. Kind of looks like Jenny, but it's not Jenny for sure. Yeah, and anyway, this one is a Sam Emerson original. All photos are original. There's four at the very end that aren't. Many of them don't have a stamp on the back, but most all my photos, most everything I ever have, do have those stamps. Um, so this is an old one by Emerson. So there's that one. This one is a great live photo of Stevie, 1977. This is by Paul Canty. And it too looks like it was used in a lot of publications. Photo also by Paul Canty of Lindsey Buckingham. It looks like John McVie is in the background, and I'm afraid I don't know who both these very recognizable men are to me, but that could also be why. No, I don't know why this pile. I really don't know why I have this random pile of photos. Um, I thought maybe to identify people. I'm not sure, but yeah. So Paul Canty photo. Beautiful one of Christine McVie. I love this photo. Uh, don't know the photographer's name, but I know I have a couple others. So when it's placed um, in the scrapbook pages, it will be addressed correctly. But I don't have the name right now. It could be an Emerson shot. I don't know. A nice, really nice, thick old photo. Beautiful. A photo by Bill Doris Postenbach, I think is how you say his name. There are quite a few by him as well. John, doing what he does best. Freaking love John. I love them all. John's the only one I haven't met. Technically, I met Christine, but at the stage, but it counts. But I've met Stevie, and I've met Lindsay several times, and I've met Mick several times. Another one by Bill, Mick, always the showman. A nice candid photo of Stevie in the back of a limousine, it looks like. Had this picture for ages. I think this is one of those kind of photos that you wrote like back in our day. That sound like validity. You would write to addresses in the back of Rolling Stone magazine or other magazines, and you could send away like a dollar in a postage paid envelope, and they would send you back sample pictures. And the sample pictures were like 4x6 or 3x5, so they're real photographs. But you could also send like $5 and get like three 8x10 sent back to you, and this seems like it might have been something from those days. So, I call this long, lanky Mick. This could be before Buckingham Nicks. I kind of think it is. They're right around that 75 era. 74 to 75, I would say. Looks like Stevie's tambourine in the photo. A Stevie tambourine. But he's just so young looking there. Definitely low 70s. I don't think it's late 60s. I think it's, and unfortunately, it does not have a photographer's mark, but definitely a photographer's print. A really nice photo I have of Stevie. Unfortunately, it's got a scratch on it, which has always bummed me out. Kind of, I can't really tell in this light, but I have a couple others, and this is like a fan photograph. I have two or three more 4x6s that go with this one, so it'll be fine to find those. Fun to find those to group it up with this one. Beautiful photo of Christine McVie. Press photo by Mike Pryor for the In the Meantime press release, press kit photo. A very beautiful, simple Chris album that came out. Didn't get much praise or anything. Really was scarcely talked about. Unfortunately, even after she passed away and it was re-released, it really didn't get talked about. But is well worth having in your library. You just you can't have enough Christine McVie songs. That beautiful voice. So that's a nice one to have. I did a little research, and this guy was kind of interesting. This gentleman's name is Lou O'Neill Jr. I believe his father was a sports writer, if I recall correctly. And he was like a contributing writer to a magazine called Scene, if I'm not mistaken, which if I'm not mistaken, is a Cleveland paper, or like a Cleveland like free magazine. And he has an interesting story. You should look him up. In the last video, like I said, this is the second one I made just because I didn't like how the pictures were turning out. I was trying to explain a little bit more about him, but I don't have the story quite right because I only just read up on him. But it's kind of a cool story, but kind of sad. But everybody who poses with him always seems real happy. He seemed like a very likable man, and that's a nice one of he and Chris. And then there's another one that goes with it. This is the cuter one of Chris, I think. It just looks so pretty there. This first one, though, has background stuff. Doesn't have a date. Just that it's Christine McVie and Lou O'Neill Jr. and that it's going to be used in the drama section of the Scene magazine or newspaper. So, kind of a cool little relic on the back. I think this is the same night. This says none of these had photographer names. Stevie talking with him there. It's unfortunate you can't see her face, but that's Nick's right there. Still a cool photo. It's kind of, again, a candid moment. These last four, as I was mentioning, are not original photographs. These were gifted to me, I think, in the early 2000s. I received these really nice photos. Not uncirculated, but not widely circulated. Half those other ones I showed you aren't really circulated. I mean, a lot of them are the originals. Not that the photographers don't still maybe have some, but you know, they weren't. A lot of it's from a box that I got where certain photos were considered for a mixed first book. So that's where a lot of my photos had come from. I think that box must have had 500 photos in it. It was Christmas for sure. These are just really pretty live shows, live concert pictures of Stevie, all the same show. I'm not sure which one, but really, really lovely photos. And the last one here. So again, just to kind of mix up, I'm about to start part 21 of the 45s, and I'm almost done with 45s, which I will break into LPs thereafter. But just to keep the interest going, again, everybody's been so nice and so receptive. I like showing the photos, and it's pretty easy because these weren't in a plastic yet. So, you know, less glare for some, but I was pretty good about not catching it all. So I hope you enjoyed them, and you'll be seeing this video a lot sooner than you'll see part 21, but it's coming. So thanks again for joining me, and have a great night. Bye.